I don't know. The thing I liked about this latest episode of Game of Thrones, it seems like they are. That's pretty far into book 3 that they're doing, and I know it's split into 2 seasons, so it seems like they're getting into like the meat of it right away. Like it seems like they're pushing these.
Because you don't want another situation where you have season 2 where things drag.
And it's tough because like you have to like tread that line because you want to tell the story,
but you don't want to.
You want to adapt it to TV. You want it to be entertaining. You want people to want to come back to watch it.
No, excuse me, but you don't want to blow your load, is what you're saying.
And like.
I don't use.
You don't want to go too hard. But at the same time, you want to enjoy the ride.
No, I get it. No. Well, because especially the last season 2, especially
the middle of season 2,
seeing like the stuff across the narrow sea, nothing was happening. They were just in the
and that's like one of the biggest challenges of the show. It's like these characters they really do branch out.
The only thing that I found cool, there's a couple of things. Obviously, Blackwater, that was sweet. Yeah, but like that one episode with the. What was it? A shooting star? Was it not a shooting star, but
the comet.
Comet, and it like went up, and they would go down to another.
The comet is in the entire book of book 2. It's just something they always go back to.
It's just always
and
going
then it's
on.
Gone. I still don't know what it meant or what it's for.
We're not supposed to, Dan.
It was just there. It was just something supposed to forget about now.
They'll call back to it. I mean,
fuck George Martin.
The last episode was directed by episode 3 was D.B. Weiss.
Oh, yeah.
So those are usually good ones. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with this episode.
The thing that was weird though is Arya called back to episode 2 of season 1. They called back to episode 2 of season 1. And Arya did. He was talking to is it the Mountain?
Oh, well,
remember last time you were here? I don't even remember last time you were here.
That's a big thing for Arya. Arya was really she was friends with that kid, and and that was the first person she ever.
I don't remember.
She felt really betrayed, and it was like her innocence is lost right then and there. It was like that he can just go and kill this person that was such a big part of her life, just like nothing. Like he doesn't even, and she confronts him now, and he's forgotten about it. He doesn't care.
She lost her biowolf in that second season.
Sansa lost her.
Was it Sansa? I thought it was.
Well, they both did. But Sansa's lady was killed. Ned had to kill lady because of that.
Yeah.
Arya made her Nymeria run away because
she should come back at some point. You'd assume so. Ghost keeps showing up.
Ghost is sticking with the Night's Watch, which also doesn't happen. But he's
okay.
It's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Here's a question. They touched on. There's a podcast I was listening to that talks about this. Does reading the book, having read the book, does it cause you to not enjoy scenes that aren't from the book? Less.
Maybe, yeah. Like, what I felt because I said, I was watching with my family, and I said, there was one time where I said, that was a waste of a scene. I can't remember what it was.
Here's my example. Not to cut you off. Season 2 had episodes with Arya and Tywin that weren't from the book, as far as I know.
No, those were
but those are really good. Those are really done well.
But they did a good job. And
does knowing they are not, because when I was watching them, I did not.
No. For that specifically, no. That they did a better job. Like that, it makes more sense, and it moves things along. Because Arya's story, she's at Harrenhal for a while, and it has a few different masters, and she is the cupbearer for a few, and she meets a bunch of them. But you don't really care. You don't give a shit who they are. It's better to have her with Tywin there, and they have a much better dynamic.
Yeah,
and he's kind of.
He had some sort of respect for her.
But he's also kind of suspicious of her, and she knows who he is, but she can't do anything about it. Those scenes are great, and she had similar conversations. When she was at Harrenhal, Roose Bolton, Robb Stark's Bannerman, was in control at one point, and she was his cupbearer, and so she had a similar situation. Yeah.
Why would she not just say who she was in the book?
Because she can't trust anybody. Because
just because Bolton, he's Bannerman.
Just because he's a Bannerman to the Starks doesn't mean that he's gonna.
Yeah, but you have a better chance. And if you're a 6-year-old, or how old is she in the book?
In the book,
she's probably 12.
A bit older than that. But
yeah.
No, not 12. She's 7 or 8 or something like that in the book.
Really?
Sansa's
makes no sense.
Then. Sansa's 13.
Makes no sense then. The way the ages are in the show make more sense.
Daenerys is 14 when Drogo rips her up. So
then it makes much more sense in the show how old.
Of course, yeah. What was it? No, Arya can't trust anybody because as much as Roose Bolton's Robb's Bannerman, he knows how much Arya's worth to the Lannisters.
Yes.
And
so she
the
feels
biggest thing you take away from the show everybody is corruptible. Nobody is purely good or purely evil. That's Everyone true. Has shades of gray, and she can't trust anybody, so she trusts in herself, and she wants to get home to Winterfell. That's her only goal at this point.
Yeah. Well, Winter Hell. Man, and by the way, Hot Pie is the worst name of any character ever.
He doesn't have a real name. His only name is Hot Pie because that's all he did in his whole life was selling hot pies.
Like, come on. I really thought that was funny in episode 2. And he's like, the whole kingdom's starving, and look at this kid.